What's going on, podcasters and YouTubers? This is Hav here, one of your hosts from the Real Fan Review. Today with me, I got my brother B.
What's going on, everybody?
We also got our man in the chair, Al.
How's it going, everybody?
Yes, sir. And no Sanj tonight, but Sanj definitely probably, I can see Sanjay being back for some Shang Chi next week. So we'll be talking about the Shang Chi. But Shang Chi coming out, we'll give you guys a small little. Can't give you a prep because we don't really know what's before. But we'll talk about some of the things that we saw with the 10 rings and just bring up what we think is going to happen in this movie and what we hope for. But we're going to also talk about the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. Just try to talk about some of the things that me and Brent didn't talk about and get Al's opinion on it. And at the same time, we're going to give you a Candyman review, spoiler, non-spoiler, since the three of us did get a chance to watch it. So we'll do that. Let's get right into the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer because me and Brandon got to crash the podcast in the middle. And we talked about it on the last podcast, but we didn't get to hear what Al thought. Al, what's your thoughts on that Spider-Man No Way Home trailer?
I think there's a lot of deception in the trailer. There's
I
a lot
agree.
of clips and scenes that they show Tom Holland, but I don't think are Tom Holland.
Oh,
Yeah, just I kind of like mirror a lot of what you were saying last week. As excited as I was for the trailer, I think all that anticipation made me not overly impressed by the trailer.
absolutely. Yeah.
Definitely what let me down is the apparent plot of that they're trying. The whole reason why Doctor Strange is involved is because Spider-Man went to him to try to make the world forget. Like I didn't like that. I don't like that as the premise, like the start of the multiverse. Like
Gotcha.
I would have hoped it would be something a little different, a little less comical, so to speak. Because that whole scene, Doctor Strange is doing the spell, and he keeps talking like he's a 5-year-old that doesn't know when to stop, and that's what messes up the spell. Like, I wish it was something different. I don't know what they could have done. I don't have any ideas, but that to me was the weakest point, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely think that now listening to the trailer and seeing those scenes, I definitely think we're getting the 3 Spider-Men.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the trailer broke some records there. It's probably the highest watched Marvel trailer now after Endgame, which is incredible. Yeah, I mean, over Endgame. Yeah, which is crazy to me because Endgame had so much, mystery to it and what's going to happen kind of thing. I'm really surprised. I'm pretty sure about 1 million of those views was me rewatching Spider-Man No Way Home because every time I went off of the computer and listened to a podcast or watch a YouTube video, it's like, did you see the villain in there? And I'm like, what do you mean the lizard's in there? Like, where? So
You're
sure
reaching.
enough,
You're reaching.
yeah, and then sure enough, you go back and there's this like quick scene where a tail is whiplashed around and like in a force field kind of thing. We still got the hopes of the Green Goblin. We're not sure which one, but it's looking more and more like Spider-Man, the original Green Goblin. But Brandon, don't curse it, Brandon, with the freaking Dihan Green Goblin. We know for sure we're getting Dr. Octopus there with Alfred Molina as Dr. Ock. And, we've heard rumors, of course, of Jamie Foxx's Electro. There's quote unquote theories that the sand popping up and the dirt popping up in the air is Sandman, but we've never heard of Hayden Church coming back to do it. So there's a lot of rumors. And if you got 5 villains, you got to have 6 for the Sinister Six. So who's the 6th, Brandon?
Vulture. I mean, there has to be a reason to keep showing them everywhere.
Right.
It would just make sense. I mean, the other thing too is like, I don't want to be a buzzkill, but like the rumors and there's something I actually agree. I like the idea of, even though I hate Dihan. Dihan is Norman Osborn, right?
Okay.
No, he's not Norman. He's Fudge. No, not Hobgoblin. Harry. He's Harry Osborn, right?
Right.
So they're saying that we'll get Norman Osborn from the original Spider-Man, and then Dihan back as Harry Osborn's Green Goblin. So we'll have 2 Green Goblins.
Oh, Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
that's too
Ooh,
much.
buzzkill Brandon.
I told you I was gonna be a buzzkill about it. I honestly I went back through that trailer about maybe 2 million times. And I am now on the party of people who assume that Doc Ock is not a villain in this movie.
Wow. Yeah, you
Right.
know what I keep hearing is funny, Al. I'm hearing Doc Ock, not a villain, and Doctor Strange, I was about to say Morpheus. he's he's gonna play Mephisto. What's your
Or
thoughts on
Morpheus. I
him?
like
Oh
Morpheus too.
wow. Oh, so he's gonna
He
be
could
like
play Morpheus.
Mephisto in disguise or something?
That's what they're
Well,
thinking
it would
because
make sense because I mean, like, you know, this story is a comic book story. You know, this is another day. So this is when after Civil War, Peter Parker's identity went out of Spider-Man, and he went to Mephisto to have his name cleared, and it ran into all these things. So while we haven't had Mephisto in the movies yet, you know, we assumed WandaVision. It
Mhm.
seemed like if they were going to go this route, the smartest route was to go Doctor Strange because it's almost in the same realm. So
Mm.
you know, when I agreed with you too, Al, where I was kind of like, I was like, Doctor Strange does it. I'm like, you know, he seems a little bit mature to have made that decision. But in going with the storyline, I can see in a way where a New York version of Doctor Strange is influenced by Mephisto a little bit after the events of Endgame. You know,
Mm.
we haven't seen Doctor Strange since Endgame, so we don't necessarily know his state of mind, you know, after the events. You know, it was, you know, a whole thing where he knew the events. You know, we don't know what he had to tap into to see the million realities that he saw where this
Right.
would happen. So maybe in doing that, you know, just in the same way that the Eternals, the snap caused this power surge, there could have been a reason that Doctor Strange is now maybe under the influence of Mephisto because of
Hmm.
what he maybe had to tap into in order to do what he did. So maybe that explains why Doctor Strange seems a little immature. You know, given it's a Spider-Man movie, everyone's a little comical, but you know, he seems a little bit more immature, especially the fact that he's wearing, you know, the North Face with the cape over it. He's got the boots on. He's got a mug that says "What the fox," you know. So I think that could be something there with Mephisto.
Gotcha, man. And listen, all the trailers are meant to do, especially a teaser trailer, is to just let us know the movie's coming and to kind of make your interest go up a little bit. Did it do that for you, Al?
Oh, definitely, yeah. And
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
especially when you see all these other videos out there dissecting every piece, like every outfit in this clip and that, like it makes you excited for those possibilities to be in the movie. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this even more so
Yeah.
than I was before the preview.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it and looking forward to December coming around so that we can watch this. How about you, Brandon, man?
I'm pumped. You know, I just kind of, and I tell you guys all the time, I just wanted to stop right here. Like, I don't want another trailer. I don't want a trailer that shows me something that I will be excited to see in the movie. Like, just leave it at this. Don't
Yeah.
show me anything else. I don't want to see Tobey Maguire. I don't want to see Doc Ock helping. I don't want to see any more villains. Just let this be it. December, 17th comes out and I go see it and I'm shocked at all the things that I didn't see coming. Like, just please, just let it be it.
Dude,
Yeah.
they can't help themselves. Do you know how many trailers pop up every single day for Shang-Chi?
Yeah,
Dude,
I know how Shang-Chi is now. I know the
the
ending. I know the ending.
featurette, the characters, the behind the scenes. Dude, enough.
Yeah.
Wait till the movie is out. I don't want to see a damn thing. I haven't watched anything since the last trailer because every time they pop up on YouTube, I'm like, hide, hide,
And
hide. I don't want to
and
see
that's the
anymore.
thing. We talk about this a lot, with trailers just ruining movies or giving away too much. Like just with Snake Eyes alone, you saw
Yeah.
the end of the movie without knowing it, and the end credits, which was weird to put that in a trailer. But then, like, we had that one movie that came out with Kevin Bacon. While the movie was not that great, it was a trailer that intrigued you enough to say, "Oh shit, this comes out in 2 days. Yo, I'm gonna catch this." Like
Yeah.
it got you intrigued, and while the movie didn't succeed in being good, it got you intrigued enough to be like, I could have waited till December 16th for the Spider-Man trailer to come out,
Yeah.
and then
I
be as hyped to see it the next day.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. It's just crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. So, I mean, listen, guys, as the more information comes out, Spider-Man No Way Home, any new trailers or, hopefully not any real big information. We don't want to know any of that stuff. We'll definitely talk about it on the podcast. And again, if you haven't got a chance to see it, go ahead and pull up on YouTube. It's all over there. And, let us know. Comment below on the bottom of the YouTube if you're watching on the video, or if you're listening to a podcast, email us at therealfanreview@gmail.com. Let us know what you thought of that trailer there. Now, let's go into the movie that we saw last week, which was The Candyman. This one was directed by Nia DeCosta and also produced with, I believe it's Jordan Peele that's producing it with his Monkey Paw Productions. So, it's going to be one of those type of horror movies that's going to be a little bit on the intellectual side as well. So, I mean, let's go ahead and just give a non-spoiler review of whether you like the acting, you like the horror, and if you recommend people to watch this movie. Al, what was your thoughts watching The Candyman, man?
Okay,
Says
no,
everything. Says everything.
no. The movie was shot well. I thought a lot of the cinematography was done well. I thought there was a lot of quality in the shots, in the acting, definitely. It was the story and the script that they were given to act out, I thought was very lacking. Like, I mean, I understand like that there was an undertone or an understory, that they wanted to imply, and they wanted you to get through all these allegories and everything, but like, I don't know, kid. Like, it didn't take me there. Like,
Gotcha.
I wanted a horror story,
Yeah.
not a political story, and I felt like they were more trying to convey a message than be a horror movie.
Gotcha. And would you recommend people to watch the movie? Like, what's your recommendation on that?
Watch it, but I wouldn't rush to a theater to watch it, because this is
Gotcha.
going to be a movie where you're going to need to watch it a couple times to grab everything.
Mhm.
So you don't need the theater experience to get the impact of this movie. You can watch it at home and have the same result.
Absolutely, man. And just welcoming in Sanj, man. I see you came on to the podcast, brother.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't know if I'd make it back home in time. I went to the
Yeah.
school board meeting tonight, and I think that was more scary than Candyman.
Candyman.
Yeah, it was scary.
Got you, man. So
Like
listen, we're
I'm
just
shook right now. Like I think I might just jump off and get a drink or something, man. Like it,
I hear you, man. Listen, man, thank you for representing for the district over here, bro. But
yeah.
yeah, man, we're just doing a non-spoiler review for Candyman right now. I mean, you got a chance to watch it yesterday yourself, Sanj. What's your just your overall take of the story and your recommendation of it?
I got in on the tail end of what Al was saying there, and how he was saying that there was like the underlying messages were there, and I kind of agree with Al's take on it. Like, yeah, it was good, but not really what I was looking for in a horror movie. So I would say this one don't necessarily rush out to go see it. Only reason being because in the previews, we saw a lot of previews for some upcoming horror that looks like that's gonna be really good horror.
Yeah,
You know.
malignant.
So I mean, yeah, exactly. So, uh, yeah,
Yeah, man.
it looks like there's good horror coming. So I wouldn't spend the money on this one.
Gotcha, man. B Dog, man, yourself, you got a chance to watch it over the weekend. What was your thoughts
I
on
did.
Candyman? And as
No,
far as the story goes and your recommendation of it.
I agree. I just like we talked about last week. This was I kind of figured there was going to be a lot of layers to this. It was going to be a deeper movie than the horror movie that we wanted to see. And I agree with you guys wholeheartedly. Like, I don't think it was a horror movie. It didn't really have many horror elements to it. Like,
Yeah.
it had things in it that obviously you would consider horror, but nothing that would make you jump. Maybe some creepy things here and there. The overarching tone of the movie is creepy in the sense of what it's trying and the message is conveying. You know, it's uncomfortable for some. It's uncomfortable to think about for some. You know, so in terms of horror, I agree. Like, I wish there was more of it. You know, there were scenes that just didn't make a lot of sense to me because they were trying to instill a creepy factor, and it just didn't hit the mark. The acting, I think Yaya was great. Shout out to the original actress from the original Candyman. She was incredible in the 5 minutes she was in, and looked incredible as well. For a woman who was 58 years old, she looked like she was 23. So
Yeah.
Yo, I
bravo.
said that in the movie. I'm like, why does the moms look younger than the wife or the girlfriend? Yo,
Like,
I'm
shout
like,
out.
I wanted to go holler at the moms.
Oh man.
And like, for the 5 minutes that she was on screen, she nailed her performance.
Yeah,
Really
she did.
did. Like,
She
just
did.
certain movements, the way she acted, you know, it really sold her part and her bit. And I don't want to give away any of the story yet. So
Yeah.
I commend Yaya and the mom. I think it was very lackluster on most everybody else. The one actor from Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, who plays a big role in this movie, I was a little mixed with him. I was expecting a better performance from him, you know, and he did a good job up until a certain point of the movie that I won't give away. But
I know, yeah, I
you
know
know,
exactly what you're talking about. I feel,
yeah, it
yeah.
kind of gave it away. But overall, I would say if you're a fan of the Candyman series, I mean, nobody likes any of the movies after the first one. So I mean, if you like the first one a lot, I would say check this one out. It's not gonna scare you. It's not scary. If you're not comfortable with political statements and political thoughts and theory, it may not be the movie for you. But if you're looking for something that has a decent story and is interesting, check it out.
Yeah, man.
What do you call? What do
Yeah.
you think? I think it had more to say about the art community than it did a horror movie. You know
I
what I'm
think
saying?
so
Like,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, it definitely played a couple of artists out there. Pretentious pretenders. But you know, we'll definitely get a little deeper into what I think the
Is that what they're
layers
trying to
were.
say? The current state of modern art? Horror.
Oh.
Horror. Oh.
But listen, man, my take on the movie is, you know, when it comes to some things, not a lot. I am a simpleton with movies. If you're a comedy, make me laugh. If you're a horror movie, scare me.
Make me scared, yeah.
You know, and to be honest with you, this is something that I fall with horror movies. They tend to go gruesome lately rather than horror, and I don't like gruesome. Gruesome is like, whoa, it makes me queasy and it makes me uneasy, but it's because of what they're showing me. I don't need to see some of those things that they were showing and doing. As far as the horror aspect of it, there wasn't really that, you know, what's that in the corner? No, we know. We know. And the demise of certain people in the movie was a little brutal, but at the same time, I understood why it was brutal for those people. But you know, we'll get a little deeper in the spoiler review right now. But I will say you don't have to rush to go see this one. It's almost on par, if anything, a little less than the first original Candyman from 1992. But you know, if you're a fan of Candyman, I think this kind of takes back what Candyman was becoming in those series
Yeah.
and makes Candyman more of a sympathetic, I wouldn't say hero, more like a sympathetic vigilante where you understand why he's doing what he's doing. But
It's
we'll
like a
talk about
symbol. It's like a symbol of a, you know,
yeah.
of a meaning or something. You know.
Yeah, watch. We're doing our best here for people, so to not spoil it. So listen, we're gonna go into the spoiler review now of it. So if you have seen Candyman, or if you don't plan on seeing Candyman, or if you just don't care about spoilers, we're gonna go ahead and talk about the movie now in full throttle. The four of us giving our honest opinions and everything about it. So listen, again, all of us pretty much said we wouldn't rush to go see it, but Brandon said if you're interested in the Candyman, go check it out. So here we go, spoiler review. So, Sanj, go ahead and get into those little spoilers there.
All right. So it started off good, right? Because you could see that they were trying to set you up
Yeah.
with some sort of story, some sort of mystery behind what was going on, and then it's on the backdrop of, the current state of art, right? And or he's an artist, his girl's an art curator, um and he's trying to make it. She's clearly doing well because they live in a nice apartment and all of that. And the jokes going back and forth, with the brother-in-law telling him, hey, did get some work, man. Those sister paying for you over here all the time. And so it's, it started off really good, the setup, and everything. But I mean, when it came down to it, just when it unfolded at the end, it just didn't scare me. Nothing scared me.
No, nothing
You know,
scared. Yeah.
in it.
It was about the message more than anything else towards the end.
Right. I mean, my son was there. He's 12, so you figure, he's grown up enough to see a horror movie and stuff like that. But you figure a younger kid might be a little bit more scared by some of the things going on. He was just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, he was more scared that he sat in the front seat before you got to the car.
Right?
Sweating.
Disrespectful.
He didn't even put on the seatbelt.
Al, how about for yourself, man? I mean, when you left the theater, you were right next to me, and we both kind of looked at each other like, "What?"
Yeah, yeah. There was like so much about the movie. Like they were trying to go for certain, I guess, gimmicks, like the fact that they only could see him in the mirror, but in real life there was nothing there.
Right.
So that stuff. The part that bothered me, and I think to your point, like if you're gonna be a horror movie, be a horror movie. Scare me. Don't just do things to make it seem like. And the part that bothered me was when he got stung by the bee on the hand, and then his hand slowly started to like decay.
Right.
Did nobody look at his hand and say, "Yo, bro, get that shit checked out"?
Right.
Especially
Exactly.
the girlfriend. The girlfriend never said, "You ain't touching me with that shit." Go like he's like he's picking it and nothing. Like he's painting.
Exactly. You yourself, if that was happening to your hand, you'd be like, "Yo, what the fuck? I gotta go to the hospital, doctor, or something." Like,
yeah,
but
man.
and it dragged out so long that you're like, all right, that don't even scare me now because that's not even like I know where you're going. It's gonna have to come off so that the hook can go there. Like they dragged.
I would have got the Neosporin by now.
Yeah.
Honestly, I y'all were there. I laughed more than like I was scared. By some of the stuff in the in the movie.
Yeah, and then the fact that he became Candyman, or he was, that he was going to become Candyman, they dragged out showing you hints to it that you already. I mean, they outright showed him as Candyman in his reflection. Like, if you were going to like surprise us with that, don't show him
I think
reflection in the beginning of the movie. Like, so that's where they lost me in terms of, okay, if you're trying to take us there, lead us there. Don't don't already bring the whole climax there and then show a little clip at the end. You showed less at the climax than you did throughout the movie.
Yeah. Well, y'all remember like in Saw, how at the end when like the first Saw, at the end how everything revealed itself, and then even in many of the subsequent Saw movies, when the clues were in plain sight, and when everything revealed itself, you were like, "Yo,
how did I not see that?" Yeah,
right. Especially the second one when you finally realized they were in the same place as the first one, but so many clues were there, but like you just didn't see them. It's like, so it's one thing to hide them clues in plain sight, and then like really give you that reveal and that aha moment, whereas they're just like, okay, they're like putting up a banner in front of you, like this is what's gonna happen.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
But I have to say, like, one of the things they did that I feel like they did great was the reimagining of who the Candyman is, and I think it gave it more a real substance to it. Like the fact that the Candyman is not just this one person; it is the retread or the redoing of the same violence that happens over and over to different black men in the community, in that same community, where they keep coming across where an innocent man gets taken out, and that vengefulness is what's coming back. I thought that was interesting, a different take from what we got in 1992 from the Candyman, as this guy who was just handing out candy with razors and gets killed, and then his vengeance comes back to get people. You know what I mean? Like this was different. It gave it more of an impact and more something that you're like, oh, that's deep. You know, especially the ending with the credits. I think
That
we all
credits was
shut
the
up.
creepiest part of the whole movie.
The end
Yeah.
credits, we sat there and watched it. Nobody
Yeah.
talked. We just watched what was happening on the screen, and we're like, wow, that's deep. You know, you got to see all the different men that were either accused of something they didn't do, or there was even a kid on a bicycle that didn't do anything. A girl just pointed at him.
And those were all real stories. None, none of that was made up for, backdrop for the movie itself. Those were all real stories of things that were happening. So, to me, I guess that's what they were trying to say. Like, no matter how much of you make out of a horror film, or how much you make a horror film, or the scariest horror film you can think about, the stuff that's happened in real life is that much more scary. But this is not the first time we've seen that story, like that type of theme,
especially from Jordan Peele
in a movie. Right, exactly.
Right.
And we've seen it done better. Jordan Peele has done it better, before.
Yeah. And I have to say the one joke that lasted for me throughout the entire thing was, you need to stop lifting weights and lift some brushes up, bro.
I'll just say Yaya might get the award this year for them disrespectful everything.
Disrespectful pecs.
Buys, tries.
Well, did he call him an ogre? Didn't the brother call him an ogre or something?
Call him an ogre.
An ogre and oof, one or the other. So like, B, man, talk to me, Brandon.
He's like Basquiat, motherfucker.
How about for you, B, man? Any positives from this movie for you from the movie, B?
I actually liked number one, that I was wrong. In our talk last week, you had said that this was either a sequel or a reboot, and I was like, nah, this is a straight up reboot. And I was wrong in the fact that they made this a continuation of the first Candyman, and it kind of just said fuck you to all the other Candyman movies. But I like how they continued the story right from the beginning. When he was talking about in the beginning, when he was telling the story about Helen, and I'm like, I don't remember Candyman 1 that much. I was like, but I remember her. I was like, and she was in that movie. And so, like, just the retelling of her story, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, that's not how that happened. I was like, that's not how the movie went. I was like, maybe they changed it around, like, the story. And then when they brought the mom in later, I was like, oh, shit. I was like, wow. Other than the fact that she looks real good, I'm like, they brought her back, and they brought her story full circle in saying, and I thought it was a little cheesy, the fact, like, you were chosen by him, and that's the reason all this shit's happening to you, and that's the reason I've been calling you every day, is that someone spoke his name and someone brought it up, so that's why he's back. Like, that was the thing I thought was cheesy. It was just like, you mean one person in the Circle community mentioned his name in the last year, now he's fucked because of that? Like, I didn't like that part. I just would have, he was chosen, you brought yourself back to the community, and that's why this is happening to you. Like, if that was the reasoning, sure. I did initially, like I said before, like the actor from Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Like, I liked the role he was playing as Burke, was it?
I believe so. He was the laundromat guy, right?
Yeah. I like that his story, where he went as we saw him as an adult, like he was in the laundromat, and that's where his story started, was him going to the laundry, just having that progression. I was like, oh, something's up with this guy. Like, nobody has that kind of childhood. Like, I'm gonna open a laundromat. like no one. So, like, I was like, there's something up with him.
Surprised the margin on. No, I'm just kidding.
I like his original take. I just didn't like how he was all of a sudden like a psychopath at the end of the movie, and he was talking like a psychopath. Like, he didn't speak that way before. He was very non.
It was like out of the blue, right? Like, there was
out of the blue.
But here's the thing. I knew that's what they were gonna do with him, but there was no progression. It just kind of there was. But here's the thing: this movie, it had great performances. It had some good performances, by Yaya, and I can't remember the gentleman that was also in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and there was great performance. But it goes to show you some movies can waste great performances by actors because of a poor story.
Yeah, like, it's like they knew where they wanted to start, and they knew where they wanted to end the movie, and they had no idea how to get there.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And if it was just fleshed out a little bit more, it just kind of fell off of a cliff there at the end. But the setup was setting up and setting up and setting up, and then it just kind of happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. I mean, and Al, with the movie, we go for the horror movie, and with these kind of horror movies, again, this was a little bit more on the gruesome side. You're gonna have your murders, your killings in the movie. I mean, not to glorify it or anything like that, but what's your take on some of the ways that these people went out?
And that was another thing. There were a lot of the murders were over the top for what they were. Like you had the one I liked that I thought they did well was that very first murder, the very first Candyman attack, which was the art distributor in the gallery,
Right.
and the girl. I thought they did that one like a horror movie, But the
Right.
one in
I
the
thought we were heading in that direction.
yeah, but then when they do the scene with the 5 girls in the bathroom and like all you hear is them getting sliced up and so forth, I'm like we went away. Like, okay, I'm hearing the noise and I'm hearing blood splatter everywhere, but you're not
I mean,
showing me anything.
I get
Like,
how
that one I didn't.
they wouldn't want to like show children getting chopped up in a
But
movie.
then don't go
so
for
then
that
don't do it with
scene.
children.
Yeah, then don't
Yeah,
go
like,
for, exactly.
don't
Don't
go
go
there.
for that scene.
Yeah.
Like,
It
do
was
it.
easy enough to not go there.
You're doing
Yeah.
a movie where you're attacking gentrification. There's so many other
Yes.
types of people you could have gone after. The other types that you could, like, you didn't have to go after the woman's daughter. You could have gone after the woman's husband, or somebody else, or you could have gone after another character or another character type.
Yeah, those guys with
children.
the fancy beards.
Yeah. Yeah.
The mustachios.
So, especially in the art world, you could have gone after so many different scenes where if you wanted to, you could have showed the scene and not have a problem with it. So,
Yeah.
and that's where I stopped feeling like I was watching a horror movie, because you're not even showing me anything to be scared of. You're playing sounds and then you're showing bodies laying on the ground.
Yeah.
And not even that. They just showed the scene through the reflection of a compact or whatever that makeup thing was. So they lost it for me. And then the worst thing I'm supposed to be scared of is Yaya's body transforming. And to your point, like at that point, you're just being more gory than scary. Like,
when they
it's
were
something.
sawing off his arm, though, that was
That was a little.
that hit me a little bit. I was like, oh.
But again, is it something scary? Is it scaring you?
No.
Like, is it making you? Yeah. Is it making you scared to be in the dark?
It was gross and not creepy gross. It was just like, oh, damn it. Like, all right.
Yeah. How about the nail? Oh, dude, the nail coming off?
Yeah.
Oh, God. I can't do it, man.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
you know how I would have done that scene with the arm?
Go ahead.
No, with the scene with the arm, instead of a saw, like, since it had decayed so much, they should have just had him break it off.
Yeah, I was waiting for him to just,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Like, I was waiting for him to just pull it off, like, himself in that trance, like, just go.
Like, the arm did not look like it needed that much sawing as he did. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it had dried out.
We've seen Saw, so we know what it takes.
Like, there was straight up eczema on that. Like, he was done.
You need Noxzema, bro.
Cortisone 10.
Cortisone 10.
You try that Vaseline? Like,
oh, man. We'll put Neosporin on that bad boy.
They got shit for that. Like,
so listen, let's talk about Yahya Mateen's acting there. Yahya Abdul Mateen II. I mean, he pretty much did his thing. I mean, as far as being the Candyman itself, it wasn't creepy, but he did his thing as far as the movie goes. I mean, what's your take on that, Sanj? He
did good with his descent, because at the beginning of the movie you see him kind of like, he looks like he has it together, like, he's an artist, he's confident in that sense, but then you see his confidence waver a little bit when the art critic hit him a little bit with the critique of his art, calling him basically run of the mill,
right,
yesterday's news kind of thing. And with him getting drunk in the studio there, you see him kind of waver a little bit, but then he kind of, gets his groove back when he starts thinking about, doing something off of the Candyman and whatever. But then as he dives deeper and deeper into the story of the Candyman, and the lore of it, you could see his descent into madness was more believable, right?
Yeah.
And to get him where he was at the end. So like I said, he was a bright spot. His performance was a bright spot throughout the movie, but like it still wasn't enough to carry the movie because
No.
it didn't have
Yeah.
the story to back his performance up.
I think the one part
No.
where I stopped believing it was when he was in the bathroom, just kind of standing there, and she was like, "Are you okay?" And he walked over and just slowly closed the door on her face. And it was like, next scene. I was like, "What the fuck?"
He's like, God, I just wish you just shut the fuck up.
He just slowly closed the door in her face, and it was the next scene. I'm like, wait. I was like, if I did that, that shit would have flung open, and I would have got the shit beat out of me.
like SWAT done came through the door.
Right? You're like, good night.
And then the part with her, the scene when she was young and her dad, when he offed himself by jumping out of the window, I felt like that was just thrown in there.
It felt, yeah, it was extra.
They just threw it in there to like, okay, say, all right, this will help her make more sense
Yeah.
in the movie. And I feel like they could have used her more to flesh out the story, because remember in that scene when she was interacting, with the other art curator from the museum, trying to get her, on board and do stuff. Again, it dives a little deeper into the art community, how she thought it was her talent that they were after, but when the other curator from the museum started talking more about, oh, well, can you get me, your boyfriend's work and get him in the show, and and any other artist you may be working on or whatever. Like
Right.
there was a lot more they could have done to have her, play off of it more, because
Yeah.
in the end it was still the two of them linked. Like she called, when he became the Candyman, she called him, and then he, killed all the cops and everything. So they're still linked together. So
Mhm.
they could have definitely fleshed out that link a lot more, and gave her more purpose in the movie.
Absolutely, man. And Al, with this movie, I think there's a bunch of different layers in there, and I just want to make sure. I think that we got all of them in there, right? The layers were gentrification, brutality, in the black community.
Yeah.
We also have, I think it's not white power, but
White
White
privilege.
supremacy.
white supremacy. There we go. Yeah, we got a lot of that in the movie, and I think that the way that they work those layers into the movie itself, Sanj hit me really in the head yesterday with the curator being the person who sends them, who isn't an artist, but shows the artist to other people, and at the end of the movie, Candyman tells her to tell his story, which was very interesting and deep. And I thought that was awesome that Sanj came up with that yesterday, and it's just like a lot of different layers in there. I just don't think that it was woven well. And like, not on some like hot take kind of thing, but for me, this is like the third or fourth Jordan Peele type movie that I've seen, with This Is Us. What was the first one? Get Out. We have Candyman, and then he also had the other one that he did that we all loved a lot.
Us.
Not Us. What was the? I can't think of it right now this second, man. But we liked it last year. It was last year's movie too, man. It was Jordan Peele. He helped make the movie, but I can't think of it right now this second. But pretty much what I was gonna say was, I'm starting not to like these movies. You know what I mean? Because I think they're trying too hard, rather than to be
convey.
scary or to like be a good movie. It's pretty much kind of like, hey, this is off the chart kind of way of telling you guys about what we're seeing in the communities. Rather
I
than
feel like Lovecraft Country was
Mhm.
tackling a lot of the same themes that this movie tried to, but Lovecraft Country did it better. I mean,
Right.
to be fair, it was a series and not a movie, so they had a lot more time. They had the budget and
Right.
more ways to flesh out individual characters and everything. But I feel you on what you're saying. It's like, all right, we're seeing it. Like, give me something fresh.
Yeah.
Like it's episode
Antebellum. Antebellum was the one that was.
Antebellum, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that was interesting and cool. I liked Antebellum a lot. But one out of the four, you know what I mean? And I'm almost getting like he has another movie coming out next year. And if it goes this route again, where it's like another story about white supremacy or stuff like that, it has to be done better than the way he's been doing it this way. You know what I mean?
Antebellum kept me guessing, for a good portion of the movie. Like, and
Yeah,
there was a couple of ways they could have gone that would have been fine. That you would have said, okay, that makes sense. There was
yeah,
a few ways they could have gone. If it was like, real horror where it's like she's thrown into the past or something like that, or she, something like you could have still been like, okay, that was good horror or whatever. But then they made it like, oh, it was actually something like real. She got plucked out and they were on a hidden plantation somewhere down south. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Antebellum, they it was still done well where it kept you guessing, and then when you got the payoff, you were like,
yeah.
yeah.
And I was invested in that movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it
Oh,
really
yeah.
drew you in. This didn't
Yeah.
it didn't draw me in.
And it gave facts that at least I didn't see them play out. Like for the fact that the guy from the laundromat tells you it's not one man, it's the whole hive, and they go on to tell the 5 stories of the different guys that were Candyman, but you still only see the one.
Right.
So why? Like at first I thought, oh, okay, so it's going to be a different Candyman based on who's calling Candyman. So like
Right.
when at the end when she called it, because at the same time she didn't say Candyman 5 times, she only said it 4. Not only that,
No, but the cop said it the 5th time.
oh, is that why? Because that's why I was wondering,
Yeah.
like, why didn't he
Because she
come
said it the
after
4th time,
her?
and then
Why did he
he
come
said it.
after them? But then that technically was the guy's first time. He shouldn't have come.
Remember when the girls did it in the bathroom?
Yeah, they each said it 5 times.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying that's where they threw me off. Like she only said it 4. Why is he there? And why is he?
He was just
attacking
waiting.
Everybody?
He was just waiting in the corner. He was ready to come out.
Plus, that's when I thought that Walter. What was the guy from the that came out the wall's name? Stewart or something like that.
Yeah.
That he was the one that threw out the candy with the razor. Like since he died of police brutality, I thought it would have been good for his Candyman to come out. And then when you had the kids, maybe a different Candyman, like the one where the kid pointed and then he got killed. So I was expecting them, like, if you're going to give me 5 Candymans, let me see 5 Candyman.
Yeah, and 5 relevant deaths.
Yeah. Yeah, like, don't tell me the whole backdrop and then there's no purpose to that story.
Yeah. And what was your fellas, thoughts on the reveal that Tony Todd was back as the Candyman at the end?
I was hoping that would happen. I thought it was a nice cameo homage. I thought it was nice that he was him
Man looks
again.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, they de-aged the guy, so
Those
yeah.
computers, yeah.
They Luke Skywalkered the guy, so. But I thought it was cool that I was hoping that he would find his way into the movie just because he made that movie. And so I was hoping it would happen. So it was nice that it showed up in the ending. But I was just like,
no, I like him as an actor. I mean, he has such range, and he had special place in my heart because he played a lot of big roles in Star Trek as well.
Yeah.
So it was just just because he has that range, just to see him, even if it was just a little cameo there at the end, it's always a plus for me.
Gotcha, man. And then last thing, man, Roundtable, man, this can go into a series. I don't think it should, but at the same time, if it did, why not? We have a story here where, again, how he becomes Candyman can be a story that keeps being told. So there's more that we can go from here, especially with the way that they left the ending where the Candyman is now is going to be told to everyone. And let's see what happens from there. Sanj, you're interested in seeing another Candyman? All right.
What was the question, Hav? I'm sorry, you froze for a second there. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say you're interested in seeing a second Candyman.
Oh, I'd definitely be interested in seeing a second Candyman. I'll give them a second chance to redeem themselves off of this. I'm not gonna write them off just yet.
Gotcha, man. How about you, B?
I don't think they're gonna do it. I'd be interested in seeing it, but it was like the same thing when they did Us. You know,
Mhm.
like they left it off in a way where it's like, oh, there's definitely going to be a sequel, and it never happened yet.
Right.
But I don't see them going that route. But I'd be interested in seeing a sequel. You know, there's a lot of potential, just like you said, in the story to have gone somewhere or do something. So if there's a chance, you know, I'll see it, of course.
Absolutely, man. And about yourself, Al?
Um, I'd watch it only because I would want to give them the chance to redeem themselves. But the way they told this story, I really don't see where they can go with the next story. Like, other than just now her telling the story we just saw.
Gotcha.
So I would like this to be a standalone, and then if anything, go into those 5 Candymen that you told us about. I wouldn't mind seeing that story. Like
Right.
each of maybe let that be the next series of movies. Like each of these Candymen coming back and getting their vengeance when they first became Candyman.
Yeah, I guess that would be interesting to see their take and their side of it, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, for me, I think I'd be more interested in something like that than a continuation because all I can see is people looking in the mirror saying Candyman is happening all over again.
Yeah.
So, you know, but I honestly a little disappointed. I wanted something more horrifying, more scary, but you know, we just keep watching these movies till we get something that's like that, man. Because one of these
Yeah.
horror movies, you got Halloween Kills coming up, Malignant in 2 weeks,
Yeah,
you know, so
Malignant
we'll
looked
see.
crazy.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
nuts, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. So listen, that's gonna be the review there for the Candyman. And listen, if you guys got a chance to watch it, we'd love to know what you thought of the Candyman. So you comment below on the YouTube or give us an email at therealfanreview@gmail.com. Let us know what you guys thought of the Candyman. We'd love to hear what you guys think. So the last thing we're gonna talk about today, fellas, is we have the marvelous Marvel MCU Shang Chi coming out this Thursday, and I am looking forward to this movie bigly, bigly.
Bigly.
All right, bigly. So it's going to be
Oh,
amazing to see this movie. A lot
yeah.
of good reviews out there. So I mean, just coming into like a little fake prep because there's nothing to prep for. We really don't know what Shang-Chi's all about just yet. But we got the Legend of the Ten Rings. We've seen them before in Iron Man. I think we also see them in Ant-Man. There was somebody with a tattoo on the neck of the Ten Rings. We
Yeah.
also have All Hail the King, which was a short where the fake Mandarin got checked in the jail. So there's a couple of things going on there. So, you know, Brandon, why don't you hit me off first, man? What is something that you hope to see or want to see in this Shang-Chi movie?
As lame as this is gonna sound, I actually really want to see Trevor come back. Like, I hope he makes a cameo in this movie. Like,
Uh,
you know, just like in a cell somewhere or something. Like, I as much as I hated the Unspeakable Iron Man 3, I did enjoy Trevor, you know, just being as lame as he was. And from seeing the All Hail the King short, like, I think it would just be a nice throwback to have him in the movie as some kind of cameo. I'm hoping, you know, I'm fully ready to watch this movie, but I've told you guys a thousand times that Iron Man versus the Mandarin is possibly one of my favorite scenarios of a, you know, hero versus villain. And I've always been sold on the Ten Rings all having some sort of power, you know, individually. So I'm hoping that it's more than just like they like come out of his arm and do something strong. Like, I would love for some sort of individual powers to happen at some point, like whether it makes him fly or something. I would like for the rings to have that kind of continuity from the comics, but that's just the
mhm.
hope. I won't hate it if that doesn't happen, but I really hope that it happens.
Oh man, how about you, Al? Any hopes and things you want to see in this Shang-Chi movie on Thursday?
I want to see if Wong actually beats Abomination.
Fight night. It's
is
fight
that
night.
is that the trip he goes in during Doctor Strange? Like,
Is that way true? Is that where he was going? Yeah. Because
Wong is going places apparently.
uh,
He ain't got no time unless this thing tore him. Using all his holiday pay after Endgame.
You know they don't get paid, Brandon.
No,
How
Did you
did
Wanda
you?
not
doesn't
watch
get paid.
Falcon and the
Wa-
Winter Soldier?
Not see the car that Wanda was driving?
He didn't even buy her a house. He bought her a plot, bro.
He's like, yo, here's some men blocks.
And
I
and
got
not only that, a plot in Jersey.
He went with no taxes.
I think
Yo, I
Jersey
found that
has
one.
taxes.
I found
Oh,
the
they
one
have
town that doesn't exist.
less taxes
You
than
will
New
live
York.
here.
Oh man.
Well, I mean, like he couldn't even get her a plot in upstate New York. You know what I'm saying? Like,
There's already a facility up there. Could have lived there for free.
Sanj, how about yourself, man? What you looking forward to in Shang-Chi
so
there?
Shang-Chi looks like it's going to be visually stunning. And that, and Michelle Yeoh, again, the Star Trek connection. Any of the great Star Trek actors and actresses, I always have a special place for them and want to support anything that they do. And also Aquafina, she's hilarious. So I can't
Girl.
wait to see her in this movie. I'm so happy that she's blowing up and like getting into big movies and stuff like that. So yeah, so the
Tony
vision,
Brook.
yeah, exactly, right? So just the visual, how visually stunning it's gonna be, the great story that's gonna have, and this is really gonna push forward, the MCU, because again, it's I feel like after so many years of like having steady movies and knowing when we could depend on a movie coming out every few months or
Right.
whatnot to get the thing moving forward, I feel like we've been deprived of that. So now that we're gonna finally get back to getting the story pushed forward, and then those few elements there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to those things.
Yeah, man. I'm just looking to some good action, some sci-fi, a little craziness, some
Little karate,
yeah,
martial
definitely a
arts,
little karate.
I should say. So not
I'm looking to
necessarily.
laugh, man. I'm looking to laugh because Marvel knows how to bring in the laughs with certain scenes when especially not appropriate. Sometimes you'll laugh. So I'm looking to laugh in the theaters. I'm looking just for a good time, and then I just wanted to connect somehow, some way to the bigger, grander MCU.
Oh, you know it will. You know
and
it will.
I'm just looking forward to seeing how they do that. So I'm super excited for Thursday, man. Can't wait to see this movie.
Wait, but speaking of laughs, did everybody see Free Guy yet?
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh no, not yet. Oh,
No.
all right.
No.
I can't say it. I can't spoil it for Al. I can't spoil it. He deserves it. Al deserves
Yeah.
to have that moment, bro. Like I'm not gonna. Yeah.
We lost our minds.
Oh man.
Absolutely, man. So listen, man, that's gonna be us for tonight. We'll be back next week with the Shang-Chi review for you guys. It should be a good time because again, all the good reviews, so that'll give us a lot to talk about next week. And we'll talk to you guys about how it connects to the MCU, our thoughts on it, and everything else that goes along with the Shang-Chi review there. So guys, thank you for watching or listening, whether you're on your podcasting apps or you're on YouTube. You can always subscribe, hit the playlist or subscribe and just, be a part of our community here where we can put out a podcast every week and talk about these blockbuster movies or the big time movies there whenever they do come out. So guys, coming out of Long Island, New York, we got our man in the chair, Al.
Have a good night, everybody.
We got my boy Sanj.
Good evening, everybody, and be safe out there.
And we got my brother B.
Adios, everybody.
Yes, and myself, Hob, again saying thank you guys. We'll catch you on the next episode. Until next time.